I'm going to go through some of the notes on how to do our first lesson this year, and that is adding and subtracting decimals. You actually have been doing this for a couple years. I think you may have started in 4th grade, but I know for sure 5th grade. I'm not going to go through all of it because that would make for a very long video that you probably won't watch. And we're going to be doing this live in class. So if you missed class or need to go back and look at it, this is the video to help you. This just gives an example, and the number one rule when adding or subtracting decimals, the only rule, is lining up those decimal points. That is the most important thing that you can do. And then when you're done, just add the columns as usual, and then when you are done, you just bring that decimal straight down. So we're going to do the first problem, and that is 14 plus 9.8. The biggest mistake I see in a problem like this is people line up like this because they want to line the numbers up. It has everything to do with lining up the decimals. So no on that. How you want to line it up is 14 and then 9.8 where the decimal is. And you may think, well, I don't know where the decimal is on 14. On whole numbers, it is always at the end. So I put a decimal there. And then I put my other decimal and line up 9.8 because that kind of helps me keep track of my numbers and where their places are. 9 8/10 right there. And you can fill in a 0 there. You don't have to. Remember, when you add zeros after a decimal, they don't have any value. And then we are ready to add. So 8, 13. So my solution is 23 and 8/10. Not what you would have gotten if you kept it like how it was on the left side. This is a mistake on example 2 that way too many kids make. If you notice, the problem was 4.815 plus 2.17. And so a lot of kids just line up like how I have it lined up. But if that number one rule is to line up the decimal points, those are not in line at all. This one's all the way over here. This one's down there. So there's no way that you're going to get a correct answer by lining this one up. This is the correct way to line it up. So I want you to go ahead and pause the video, and I want you to solve this problem. The way I would solve it would be by adding that placeholder 0, and then just adding the columns. So we're at 6, and so my answer would be 6 and 985 thousandths. On example 3, Amy ran a race in 30.6 seconds, and Kate finished the race 2.37 seconds faster, or after Amy. How long did it take Kate to run the race? So I highlight that part. She finished the race that long after. And so when you are second in a race, that means your time is going to be slower. And to get a slower time, it means that it's going to have to be a bigger amount. So in this case, we would want to add. And these time questions can be confusing to people. So you want to add Amy's time, 3 and 6/10, to Kate's time, 237 thousandths second after. And remember to line up the decimal. Don't do this, what I'm about to do right here. Don't do that because that doesn't line up the decimals where they need to go. So I'm going to erase. What I want to do is put those decimals first and then do 30 and then 6 on this side and 0 here and 237 on this side. If you need to add your placeholder zeros, you can do that. And then I'm going to have you pause the video now to solve. I'm going to add up each column, 3, to get 30 and 837 thousandths seconds.